Hello, this is the Double Square, and welcome to Double's Game Shows, Speed Circle 15. After a few months, it finally came out. I think it was probably around half a year at this point, but honestly, it's just good to finally get this out, finally get this in production, finally release this on March when it was recorded and took place back in freaking October. But if, before you're all wondering, oh, what took you so long? Pretty much I got demotivated. I got busy with other stuff, had other projects, and eventually just I forgot about it for a while, but I'll still work on it, and if I ever do this again, I'll try to go a bit faster. So what's the pre-context premise of this? So one day I was talking in the Discord server called The Circle. I was bored, so I decided to come up with an idea of what if the circle take place behind the scenes, then it gets uploaded onto YouTube. So I had that ingenious idea of doing that. Then I'm like, I could do it for circle speed. And then I'm like, 15 is a great number. So I decided to invite the top players from the previous speed. And I decided, why not? So 25 accepted the invite and 25 did play. No one knew the results except for the contestants for impressively 6 months. I'm surprised no one leaked. But I feel like no one really cared enough about it at the moment. But now the results are here. So the best from 14 circle speeds all faced off. I've hosted 14 circle speeds before the 15th one took place. Yeah, I hosted a few more after, but that was after Speed Circle 15 filmed. But no one knew about Speed Circle 15 for a while. But now Speed Circle 15 is finally going to be out to public. Everyone's going to know what went down in Speed Circle 15 after so long, after 6 months of hiatus. Probably around 6 months. Maybe I can't count, but it's okay if I can't count because counting is difficult enough. So let's introduce you to the cast. We get Athenos, who says second. Coincidentally, he got runner-up in Game 13. We get Box, who is a box. We got top 5 in Game 2. We get Crow, who's so good. We got top 7 in the first game. I have become Square. Indigo, who won both Game 1 and Game 4, a double winner. It's Sergi, who feels Rose Squared, who won Game 13 and was the reason why a controversial contestant won the speed after. We get It's Me, who should I? He's questioning his sanity already. We got top 4 in Game 9. We get Leah, a Twower, who is already pretty scared even though she won Game 11. We got a name which I personally play. I don't know how to say it, but they're cool, I guess. And they got top 5 in the 4th game. We get Me6, who is unrankable. Well, before y'all complained that Me6 wasn't there, that was before the controversy, before the NFTs, which we know NFTs are so amazing. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic, but that was before the Me6 scandals. And now, Me6 isn't even in the main server anymore. They got banned, as they should. So yeah, Me6 will no longer be involved in any of the circle speeds due to the controversy that they partook in with the NFTs. Maybe Me6 knew that their downfall was coming. Maybe we'll have a Walmart Me6 someday, but not right now. We get Meowly, who wants to vote for Mysterious Grim Reaper, the best moderator in Doubles Game Shows, even though he did not play. But Meowly is the other 2-time winner, winning both Game 9 and Game 12. We get Michael, who is based. We get Manic, who won Game 7 and is not prepared for this game apparently. He says, oh boy. We get My World, who was wowed by this game starting, who made podium in Game 12. There he won by not existing. We get Nam, who likes skulls. We got top 4 in Game 8. We got Nero, who thinks he can play in this now. We got podium in Game 13. We get Not Damien, who was catching up on sleep. Got top 4 in the 4th game. We get Pidgey, who does not work, who won Game 10. Won Game 10 without working. That's great. We got Pokeleaf, who thought this was a speed trial when he was invited and started playing, but it was like, oh crap, this is not a speed trial. I actually have to try. We got top 5 in the first game, the very first speed circle I ever hosted, which was when I first got into circles. We get Ryan, who's going to become Jesus in this game, who got podium in Game 7. We get Scoop, who does not want to get out till the Final 4. He made a plan to make it to Final 4 and step. Will that actually happen? We'll see. He didn't make it top 4 in one of the speeds, but I have Game 9 top 5 because his NR is higher that season. If you don't know what NR is, it's memorized rankings. It's based off your placement. It's pretty much kind of how 12 voting works and how 12 stuff works. And because I'm a 12, of course I use NR because I'm a nerd. Anyways, our last batch of contestants, we get Sion, who thinks this is going to be some fun. A Game 2 winner, we get Sige, who wakes up at 2 a.m. We got top 6 in Game 9. We get Skyborn, who is rude and told the game to shut up while making podium in Game 8. We get Subler, who says here we go, who won Game 8. We got Inez, who is confused about the game and made it top 4 once. Anyways, this is all the contestants. 25 contestants share one goal. They all want to win this game. They all want to be the 15th Speed Circle winner, and they want the chance to win the event winner role and doubles game shows. Like, who wouldn't want that role? It's precious, and there's some benefits. Who will win? Well, it's 25 enter. It's hosted by myself, of course, the Double Square, but also hosted by Bill Frosby. If you know him from The Circle, he's the main host. He was one of the creators of The Circle, alongside Athenos. Both of them began hosting around the same time, and they both have high influence in the community and come up with crazy twist ideas and make a great impact in the community. Anyways, welcome to the layout. Welcome to the table. Our 25 contestants all have their ideas. They all have their pitches. And we'll put important events on the left. In the center, we'll put the ranks on how well the contestants do. And then on the very right, we got the graphic of the contestants. I'll be showing who they vote per round. I will probably put up a vote table on the Discord server after this video comes out, but for now, this is your budget vote table. Also, another thing to note, there are no strikes in this because generally I forgot to do strikes. So any non-votes will be abstains, and any people who abstain are simply abstains. Both of them will have the same thing on their vote card, which is just a blank vote. Anyways, let's start off with the beginning of the game. We get Sergi decided to throw Box from being offline. There were a few contestants that were offline, and then Box decided that they did not want to be in the game anymore. Leah threw not Damien for the same reasons as Box. You know, in the speed, usually the offlines go out first. Then Me6 was thrown by Meowly. I mean, based Meowly, Me6 is a controversial figure for a reason. And then the votes came, and that was a pretty easy first vote with Box getting 10 votes to be eliminated. So round 2 came along, Meowly still wanted Me6 to go, and then Nam was both offline and inactive, which put them as an easy target for the round. And then Not Damien still had his name out from last round, despite beginning to step up his activity because Leah's thrown, and once you're thrown, it's hard to not be thrown because your name's always going to be out there. Because in the circle, you know, once your name's out there, it's a name, and you want to keep a name out so it's not you that's going. It was another simple round. With that, Nam easily goes home in a 10-4-3-1-1-1 vote. I'm not going to say the counts for the most of the rounds because the vote counts are going to be absurdly long, and I don't want to ruin my energy. And then round 3 came along. Me6 was still targeted by Meowly and was a polarizing figure. What duh, it's Me6. And then Crow threw Sige out for not saying anything. It's an impressive feat to make it this far without saying anything. Sometimes you just hide behind the shadows, but you can't hide behind the shadows forever in circles because eventually you're going to be noticed when trying to find a name and you haven't seen someone for a while. So with that, it was a very, very easy Sige vote. And there's still the people who want Me6 out, but so far these votes have been easy votes. Just someone that's been inactive, they get thrown and they're out. There's no counter vote, there's no secondary vote at the moment. There's just people wanting Me6, and that's pretty much it. But Me6 decides, Michael decided he had enough of Me6. Me6 to survive the inactivity phase, the offline phase, but everyone has spoken. Everyone's been online, and Me6 finally got pushed heavily. And then Not Damien still had a target from round 1. The underdog are just trying to survive, but people still want him out because he wasn't on during round 1, and that is rough. With that, It was a very easy me6 vote. The streak of easy rounds still continue, and more people are wanting me6 to go. And then, which me6 finally went. Then not Damien. It was pretty much just Scoop voting for not Damien every round. Leah gave Scoop a very easy vote at the end. Scoop's playing the sniper strategy. Same for Pidgey, who's been voting for Skyborn each round. And Skyborn's been abstaining every round so far. And then this is where the fun begins. This is where things really shift up. Crow really noticed Sergi as someone who was very active, and Crow wanted to make an impact in the speed, so he decided to go ballsy and threw Sergi. And then Meowie was mentioned for being offline, and then not Damien still had Scoop trying to snipe him, but Scoop was just playing the sniper role just to make it to the final four. I respect that. And then with that was a Meowie vote because Meowie was offline and there was no counter vote, but Sergi did get a good amount of votes. Crow was trying to push on Sergi because he knew that Sergi is a bigger player, had more influence, and was making some of the throws possible. With that, Crow wanted to push the Sergi vote even more, and he knew that he was going to go home soon, so he decided through Sergi for being powerful. And Crow also said that if he made it out this round, he'll step, which is a controversial strategy. Just push someone, make it one round further, and just step. Honestly, I would just hate being in that situation, but it was fine at the time when stuff got interesting in the speed because the first 5 rounds it was just an activity, but now things are really shifting up. I mean, there's a reason this is All-Stars. This is an all-star cast. Most of this cast played in the long-term circle orgs. Most of the cast know the idea of circles. Of course, there's some players who never played circles before and only know the speeds, but most of these players know the process of circles and get them out, made it pretty far in them. So with that, Sergi was voted out and Crow wasn't voted out, and in true fashion, Crow decided to stop living his word. After that, not Damien was still mentioned as a possibility for a vote, even after so long. It's been like 7 rounds, 6 rounds. Get the man a break. And then Ryan was thrown out for an activity by Leah in My World. So with that, Ryan was voted out with ease. Sorry for the silence, but yeah. And then after Ryan was voted out with ease, then was another round. Leah decided to throw Pidgey for an activity, but then Pidgey knew that Leah was a bigger player and viewed her as a commanding player, so he decided to do a counter push. And then Nina's was beginning to exist less and less in the game. Her activity level was lowered, but I mean, can't blame her when that's the phase where the bigger players are beginning to go after each other. Even though Pidgey wasn't really a big player, but Pidgey decided to take a shot at someone who was calling most of the shots. In a very close vote, Pidgey did go, but Leah's began to get a target on her back now. And then not Damien and C decided to call Leah too commanding. Scoop became more noticeable for his memeing. I mean, can't really consider him a very serious player when his entire gimmick is making it to Final 4 and stepping, which so far he made Final 16. He's getting closer and closer to his goal of stepping at the Final 4. And Nina's, once again, became less active. And with that, it was a Leah vote. 5 players voted Leah, and a commanding player. That was a downfall of someone who's playing hard. And then Lays was labeled as too active by not Damien and C. Those two knew that they were powerful and they were pretty active and they were pretty scary down the road. And not Damien, after it's like Final 15, 10 contestants died and he still is a target since the beginning. This man has not caught a break. And then Nina's also became a possibility for an activity vote as her activity has declined within the last few rounds. But despite that, in a very close vote, Lee's was the one that went home in a 6-5 fashion. But then after that, Michael decided he once made the final push on me6. Rounds later, he decided to make the final push on Enos. Enos has been inactive for the last few rounds, and the fact she's still here after her inactivity is an impressive feat. They just forgot about her. The bigger players were eating each other up, but eventually you gotta know that people float, and you gotta take the floaters out and then inactive ones out. And she ended up going offline, which was the nail in the coffin for her. You don't go offline in speeds. So it was a very easy Enos vote. I'm not even gonna do any suspense, but most of the votes came on the Enos. But then this round, things decide to change up. Once the inactive one goes out, then things really change. We get Not Damien, who is still targeted. Man, does not get a break. C decided to throw Athenos as a joke, and then Slither decided to push C. And with that, it was a wild round, and C was the one that ended up going. C threw Athenos as a joke, and that made Athenos not trust C very much, and then the others just knew that C was a big player and gotta take him out whenever you have the chance. But then the first blind vote of the game, holy crap! Blind votes are controversial, they're crazy, and blind votes are a situation you don't want to be in because you don't know where they're going to be at, especially in an intense speed like this. 12 best players on my circle speeds are now in the final 12. And Athenos was previously thrown by Nero and C, and then Slither had a target for previously throwing the names out, so yeah, I think you know where this is going to go at. With that, a blind vote leads to a tie with only 2 votes. That is a low vote count. With that, the first tie of the season, and that's when things are going to shake up a bit. It was the first tie, and both our big players both got additional target on their back. Usually when you're a tie and if you survive, then you got a big target on your back because they know that you survived the tie and that's a free name to vote. And there's also the strategy of getting both of them out in the tie. But unfortunately that did not happen well. Something say was that both of them were supposed to die, but Poke had a vote on Slither, but then changed it to Athena's last second. But when he changed it, I already did the zap and Slither went. So Athena's pretty much got a second life. So good job, you got to survive another round because I did not record a vote on time. But despite that, Athenos still had a target for surviving a tie. No one knew about Athenos having a second life, not even after the game. Anyone knew. Just me and Bill knew that Athenos got a second chance. And Not Damien suddenly had a rise in power. And even though his name was out there since round 1, he was playing a bit harder. He was gaining more influence, but he was also becoming a target for different reasons now. And with that, yet another tie. Athenos got himself in another tie. Athenos and Not Damien really could have prevented that tie if they voted for each other, but they did not. But I mean, they had their other players they wanted to vote out. Athenos knew that Nero wanted him out, as Nero threw him previously. And It's Me was pretty much a floater at this point. He was just floating, and half of the times he didn't even vote. He didn't even say abstain. His vote record was a bit messy. So a tie came. Not Damien did a strategy of if he survived the tie, he'll step. So I think you know where this one's going at. Despite a promise to step, the vote was closer than expected, 6-4. Athenos got a second chance, but it didn't last long, and thankfully it didn't really make much of a difference. Even though, because going further because of a host error, I mean, that doesn't sound too professional. And then Not Damien decides to live up to his promise and step. So now the ranks change because, you know, the rank card obviously can't fit all 25, so congrats for making it a final 10. And since after the tie, this is the phase where there's really lost all direction in the votes. So, and the vote, Indigo was the one voted out as she was called a floater by both Nero and Not Damien, and it was a stage where several names were called out for floating to the end. And then Manic was likely viewed as a threat. Manic was laying low, he was in a good position, he was playing well, and no one really called him out to this point. So yet another round of blind voting. This is pretty much what most of the end game will be like. all blind voting. You don't know where the direction is. I tried back reading through most of the chats, and unfortunately I can't really find anything. My show is just pretty much blind voting, so that's why the event tab is pretty much boring, without me spoiling who goes home. So with that, Nero is the one who went home. Nero is likely viewed as a threat, and he was considered to be a contender to win this game by Athenos himself. Athenos listed some contenders to win, and Nero was one of them. And then the trend of blind voting happened once again in the final 7. And with that, It's Me was the one who went, likely viewed as a floater and likely viewed as someone who could go to the end. And it was a round where It's Me actually voted, and yeah, pretty much It's Me, one of the few non-circle veterans left. He never done a full-on circle org. The only circle org he done prior to this was a speed circle. The only speed circle he did was the one he qualified, and he made it all the way to final 7, and he played well. But unfortunately, his run came to an end. But now the final 6, this would happen to be the alumni phase if this was a normal square season, so congratulations. You know, I know I'm a 12 nerd, but alumni means the best players this season, so congratulations. Y'all made alumni. You get Michael, Manic, My World, Pokeleaf, Scoop, and Skyborn. A very stacked field. So the game continues. And then Pokeleaf went out in a 2-1-1-1 vote. The votes are very spread out, and it's the final 6. There has been no direction in these votes ever since the Not Damien step. Pokeleaf was likely viewed as a threat, and was considered to be a contender according to Athenos. Athenos said that Pokeleaf was going to go far, and Pokeleaf had a pretty strong run, especially for someone who thought this was going to be a speed 12, so great job. And then the final 5, yet another blind vote route. And just to let you know, Scoop is still in. At the beginning, his entire gimmick was stepping at the final 4, stepping at the final 4. But now he is 1 round away from the final 4. Will he actually make it to the final 4? The answer is yes. Makes it to the final 4 with ease. Well, Manic was saved by Scoop. Scoop was going to vote for Manic, but then decided last second to change his vote to My World, meaning My World went home at 4th, but 5th. But My World played pretty well, a pretty strong run, and now the final 4. And I think you know where this is going to go at. He said at the beginning he'll step. That was his entire gimmick, the entire speed. Despite all the intensity and all the inactivities and all the nature of a circle, he made it to the end. He achieved his goal, and with that, he stuffed. Pretty much obvious. And it's the final 3, and it is still a blind vote. There's no direction. There's 3 contenders left. An abstainer, someone that votes only half of the time, and someone who barely survived the final 9 vote. So who is going to win? So Manic decides to actually vote. And Michael had an opportunity to win if you vote for Manic. And then it could have been an easy win for Michael. However, Michael did not vote. And it would have been a strike if it was in a normal round. It would have been a stealth vote if it was a normal circle. So Manic could have won in that situation. But Michael probably would have struck out beforehand. So yeah, Michael kept getting lucky that this was a speed without any strikes. And Skyborn did not vote once and made it to final 3. I wonder who else did that in the circle and made it all the way to final 2. I clearly wonder. And Poke said that Skyborn had the best shot to win the game, according to his opinion. So it's not the actual opinion, but that's just a perspective from an eliminated player. So, you know, I'm not going to spend too much time on this phase. The final 2, they can either decide to go to jury vote or decide to give one of them the win. But as it's All-Stars and both of them want to win, they decided to vote for each other. They did it twice. I just have to make sure that in case someone decides to change their mind, but that did not happen. So I'm not going to do a second slide, but they voted for each other twice. But now the fun part, the jury phase. All the eliminated contestants surrounding the 2 players, and I mean literally, they are next to each other alphabetically. So that is a great coincidence. They're all surrounding. And once again, there wasn't too much of a clear direction for the jurors. But both of these players played pretty well, and both of them made it all the way to end. We got Manic, who won previously, and Michael, who got runner-up. So will the direction change Well, the tables turned. You'll find out. In an 8-2 fashion, the winner of the Speed Circle 15 is Michael. Congratulations. After a few months of waiting for this precious award, you finally won the event winner role in the Doubles Game Show server. Congratulations. You're mostly known for your service as the question of the day person, but you have evolved and you finally joined the club of event winners. They'll be happy to see you win an event, and after a few months, you earned it. It was a wild gameplay. You made it all the way to the end. And if it was a normal season, you probably would have struck out. Your voting record was inconsistent, but you still made it to the end, and despite missing an easy opportunity to win, you still played real well. And Manic, miss I'm not gonna discredit you. You played very well and made it all the way far. And honestly, I really don't remember the direction of the jury votes. I tried back reading, but there wasn't too much direction of it. And because it took 6 months ago, a lot of it weren't really fresh. And I feel like some of the comments and events will be more detailed if hadn't I worked on it soon. So will I do this again? I probably will do this someday if I'm feeling it, but unfortunately, I just took way too long on this one. Maybe someday if I have more time and if I work on it faster. But for now, I want to focus more on hosting speed circles on the Discord server. Maybe I'll do another hidden game show down the line. Maybe instead of making a video, make it in a document. But who knows? I don't want to plan too much. I just want to keep going with the current nature. So if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. If you want to stay updated with the Discord game shows I host, then join the Doubles Game Shows Discord server. You'll be seeing the speed circles, you'll be seeing the speed trials, you're going to see the trial itself, you're going to see the forum games, you're going to see several other games that you can try out, and I can guarantee you, you'll have a good time. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you during the round 3 results of Doubles Game